Hello everyone, I'm Victor of SavingSkylands, and if you clicked on this video, you're either curious how to get back into Skylanders, start Skylanders, or you're just a subscriber of mine and you just like to hear me ramble on about random things. Well, exactly what I just said is exactly what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to break down what you'll need for every game, but keeping it simple so you're able to get through the game completely without, breaking your wallet. So I'm going to give you guys some suggestions, some tips when you're shopping and stuff like that, where to get some Skylanders and some other things that you'll need to play Skylanders throughout the 6 games. So sit down, grab a drink, and enjoy. So starting you off, I would go in order of the 6 games. I would go in the correct order. It would be Spyro's Adventure, Giant, Swap Force, Trapteam, Superchargers, and then Imaginators. So starting off, you would want to start off with Spyro's Adventure, otherwise known as SSA. That just had its 10th anniversary, so happy 10th, everybody. First things first, you'll need a portal, and obviously the game. And the portals are tricky because they don't all work across consoles. PS4 consoles work with the Wii portals, but Xbox has their own portals, and there's no way to tell. I had to write it on mine because there's no way to really tell. I think the cords are a little different. This is my Xbox one, so it's a little thicker, and the PS4 cords are a little thinner. So that's the only thing that I've noticed that could maybe be a possibility of knowing what's what. But other than that, you'll need the game, and the game was released on PS3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, and I think in Japan the Wii U. But that one's very rare, so good luck finding it. But otherwise, Xbox 360 and PS3 and the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii has the worst graphics out of all of them because it is the oldest console. But I always played with an Xbox 360 and it still works to this day. So if you're having luck with your Xbox 360, I do recommend getting it on that. If not, PS3 will work just fine. For characters, you really only need one of each element to get through the entire game. That's just how it is. There will be elemental gates along the way, and you'll need a certain character of a certain element to get into it. So here I have 8 Skylanders, one of each element, that I would recommend to you guys that are the easiest and the best to use along your journey in SSA. So starting us off is the Earth, Sky, Air, whatever, is Sonic Boom. She has short range, like yelling attacks, and then she throws her babies at kids. It's really weird. Undead, we got Chop Chop. Chop Chop's very powerful in close range with a sword, and he also has a shield. Next up is Bash of the Earth element. He can roll, and it allows for very fast travel. He also has a tail swipe that does a ton of damage. Now possibly the most overpowered character in any game is Drobot. Drobot, you hold one button and he destroys the screen. He has a machine gun for eyes. Next is Igniter. Igniter is the best fire element right along with Flame Slinger, but I would get Igniter if I was you, unless you like ranged attacking, games, then get Flame Slinger. He just flings bow and arrow, whatever. Igniter's a lot like Chop Chop, really powerful combos and one kind of short range, long range attack. And then Life element, if you like speed, you'll love Stealth Elf. Stealth Elf is very powerful and she's also very fast. Now my personal favorite Skylander ever from the water element is Gilgrunt. Gilgrunt is absolutely amazing. He's got 2 very ranged attacks along with a jetpack that allows him to travel very fast. And now I don't think Spyro is the best magic element Skylander from SSA, but it just feels fitting to get him since it is his game. He also has a fun little conversation with Quigley, who's a little Mabu in the game. He says haven't I seen you somewhere before? It's referring to all of Spyro's adventures before when he had his solo run in his own games. So that is all you'll need for SSA. Now this next little segment is going to be very short because Giants, you don't need anything new. All you need is one Giant to be able to get the feats of strength. You'll be able to push things over, you'll be able to break through walls, so I would recommend T-Rex. He is the starter pack Skylander. He also has a gnarly version, which is another version of him, which isn't any more expensive really. It's just a little bit more rare to find, but that's really all you'll need. You don't need a new portal. You'll use the same portal. Again, released on PS3, Wii, and Xbox 360, but nothing new. You can use the same 8 characters I just went over. All you'll need is one giant, but really, if you just wanted to get through the game, you don't even need the giant. Now moving on to Swap Force. Swap Force was the first game that was able to release on newer consoles such as the PS4, Xbox One. Maybe Wii U as well, but you'll need a new portal if you do switch over from, PlayStation to Xbox or Xbox to PlayStation. That's what happened to me, and I got screwed because I got like 2 of the new games. I got like Trapteam and Swap Force together on PS4, and I didn't have a portal because I didn't realize the Xbox 360 portal does not work with PlayStation. Did not know that. But for this one, you don't need any new characters to get through the game, no. But if you want to complete the game, you're going to want some swappers. And the swappers I would recommend are, they're right here to my left. Spy Rise is great for tech, so is Magnacharge, both great. But the starter pack Skylanders you can't go wrong with because they're like $2 each. They're Blast Zone and Washbuckler. Everybody's got at least 2 of them, I swear. You'll need them to be able to go through swap zones and little side missions and stuff like that. But overall, elemental gates are the same thing, so you're able to 100% complete each level with just the original 8 that I gave you before. So really, you don't need anything new. You just grab a swapper of each. They each have their own quirk. They have their ability. There's like sneak, and then there's like speed and drill. If you want to get 1 of each, you can. There's 2 of each. So if you just wanted to get 1 of each, all means go ahead. And you'll be able to 100% complete the game. And yeah, other than like achievements and stuff like that, obviously achievements are like collect them all, which I've spent a lot of money to do that, but for starters, you just need 1 of each. Now on to Trapteam. Trapteam is right here in front of me, and it is still to this day the most expensive Skylander game going around, either Facebook or eBay, Mercari, stuff like that. You can find it roughly between $40 and, if you're lucky, $20. I got mine for $20. I was really lucky to find it, but when you do, make sure you obviously get the right console portal, but you can't use your normal portal that you used for Swap Force, because you'll have to get this new Trapteam portal. That's the first time I've said that correctly in my entire life. It looks like this. It is definitely the most glitchy portal ever. I have 3 of them, and they're all glitchy, and what I've heard, they're all glitchy. So if yours glitches out, don't worry about it. Not a big deal, it'll work eventually. Now, this game brought in the lovely thing of traps, because when you defeat an enemy, you can trap them and become that villain. So there are tons of these things. There's like 4 of each element, other than a chaos trap and light trap, light and dark trap. Light and dark are the new elements that were brought into Trapteam and carried out the rest of the series. So there's less of those, so they are more expensive. So don't worry about light and dark because you'll need to get the expansion packs. It's a big deal that's not needed to complete the game. But if I was you, I would pick up a chaos trap and 1 of each element if you really want to, have fun with the villains. So there are 8 normal elements, so you'd get 1 of each, and then the chaos trap. Chaos trap you could find like $10. Not too much. I spent, I think, 14 on it back in the day when I had got it. So not gonna break your bank right there. What's gonna break your bank is the Trap Masters. Trap Masters, you can find them for cheap, but you can also find them for really ridiculous prices. The thing they changed about this game, and from what I heard they changed it at the last minute, was they only allowed Trap Masters to be able to get into the elemental gates that were all along the series. So you'll have the same elemental gates, like if you want to get into an earth gate, oh, bash. No, it won't let you in because you have to be a Trap Master. So then I would have to recommend 1 of each Trap Master from each element to get into these gates. And light and dark do have elements too, elemental gates. So you will have to get Nightlight and Nightmare to 100% complete the game. You can usually get them together for $25 or so, $30. If anybody's charging you more than that, don't pay it. It's not worth it. But 1 of each element of Trap Masters. Don't worry about Trap Cores because they are useless. Other than, you complete the game and then you want to go back in and have fun. with just the cores where you're not worried about going into elemental gates and finding all the treasure and stuff like that. So they're great. Trapteam cores are amazing, and they get so overlooked because they have no use. Literally, they're just as useful as Series 1 Sonic Boom inside of Trapteam. Like, they are great, but they have no use. So don't focus on Trapteam cores at all. Just make sure you have the right portal, the game, and one of each trap master. And if you want traps, but traps aren't, you don't need to get the traps. Not a big deal. But one of each trap master is what I would recommend. Now the 5th game in the Skylanders franchise is Skylanders Superchargers. And Superchargers, right here in front of me. It's a great game, but there's a lot of quirks to it. Lots of things that you can't get into if you don't have the right toys to use. So what you'll need is, I don't have them around me right now. Actually, yeah, I do. This is my second time recording this, so everything's everywhere. You will need 3 of each, or 1 of each, but in Superchargers there are 3 missions in every single level, almost every single level. There's a land mission, a sea mission, and a sky mission. So what you're gonna want is 1 land, 1 air, and 1 sea vehicle. So the ones I would personally recommend is, for air, Sunrunner. This is the legendary version, don't worry about that. The normal version's white and like orange, I think. This will go to Astroblast, and you also get a boost in stats when you use the supercharger of, the vehicle. Starter pack right here. Spitfire is the character that goes with Hot Streak. Hot Streak is the best car in the game, best vehicle in the game, in my opinion, and you can't go wrong with it because it's super cheap as well. Sea, I'd actually go Sea Shadow. Sea Shadow is a little bit more rare. It's a dark element, so it is a little bit more rare. Sorry for the dogs barking in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I got some dogs. Anyway, Sea Shadow, you need 1 of each, 1 for each mission in each level. But other than that, the Superchargers aren't really required, but they are required if you want to 100% complete the game, because they all have their own challenge. There's a guy in the game who you go to when you pair the Supercharger with their vehicle together, and they have this level that they have to go through, and then they'll get a boost in their stats. But other than that, you will have, in my trap container, trophies. Now this is where the fun aspect is. These trophies unlocked racing, so it's kind of like, actually it's a lot like Mario Kart if it was handheld. Like, you don't have to obviously steer. But the Superchargers aspect is a lot of racing, so get ready to race. Also, I totally forgot, but I'm adding it back in now. You don't need the Superchargers portal to play Superchargers. You can use your Trapteam portal. You can actually use your normal portal, I believe. Just the Superchargers portal is a bit wider, so you're able to fit vehicles, and if you had 2 players, you would have to have a vehicle and 2 Skylanders on the portal. It allows for more room. It also has a little port, just like the Traptanium portal, to put traps, and the traps give your vehicles a new attack for a limited amount of time, but I really don't use it. I still use my Swap Force portal no matter what game I'm playing, other than Trapteam, because it requires it. So you don't need the Superchargers portal if you have Trapteam portal. Alright, now on to the last game, and that would be Imaginators. Imaginators is the money grab of all the games, even more than Trapteam and Superchargers. And if you know nothing about Skylanders, you better buckle up. And if you know a lot about Skylanders, you know what I'm talking about. Over half of the levels are exclusive to certain characters with certain elements, or Robo, let's say, is the most rare Skylander, or not, I mean maybe rare, but it's the most expensive Skylander. That's not a variant or anything like a special edition, it's just Robo. It was the last Skylander ever made for a Skylanders game, and that's why people want it. And there's a rare number of them. Along with Wildstorm. Wildstorm will go from between $90 and $120, when Robo will go from $200 to $350. If it's in box, $500. It's ridiculous. So that's why I haven't pursued that personally. But for Imaginators, you're going to want, for the creative aspect, I mean, it's called Imaginators, so you're going to want a creation crystal. That is these lovely little guys. There's one of each element, so there are 10 of them. You can find a deal. I'll put the link in the description from my seller, Katie Bennett. She sells, I think, all 10 elements when she has them all available, obviously. I think it's $80 for 10 elements, which is a great deal. If not, it might be $90, but still, it's a great deal. Anything less than, you know, $10 each, other than Dark Element. Dark Elements get super expensive. Dark Element can be like 30 bucks sometimes. It's ridiculous. But back to the new Skylanders known as Senseis. There's no cores in this game. They're all Senseis. They're very large figures and they're about $15 each. I do recommend starting off with the starter pack ones. That would be Kingpin and Golden Queen. And for some people, the starter pack Skylanders were also Crash Bandicoot and Neo Cortex. You can't go wrong with those either. The best one out of those is definitely Kingpin though. But the reality of it is that you will want one of each element. You're going to need 10 senseis to be able to play, even given the chance to play all of the levels, which is really dumb. I don't like it, but the levels are cool, and it does have cool aspects to it that you need a certain element to get into it. It's like they took away elemental gates, so they replaced them with a whole level. But obviously you need 10 senseis. That's the minimum to 100% complete this game. You also need Wildstorm and Robo, which I don't have either because you'll spend $1,000 on those two. It's ridiculous, but I mean, if you just wanted to play the game, you could still use, I mean, all the power to you. Your original 8 Skylanders that you took to Spyro's Adventure and play them in Imaginators. Just watch out because they boosted the stats on the enemies. They didn't nerf your previous characters. They boosted the stats on the new enemies so that they're now very powerful and they can take a lot of damage. So it makes your characters look very weak. Therefore, the money grab senseis. They do so much damage and have, you know, a good amount of health. They're usually over 1,000 health. And then your Imaginators can be leveled up to over level 50 is their max, which is crazy. They're fun to use to a certain point. Once you get them past like level 30, they become so overpowered that Nightmare Mode looks like a chompy. Like, it's a lot, but the good thing is you don't need any new portals for this. You can use your SWAT Force portal if you wanted to. I personally use my Supercharger portal all the time, other than SWAT Force, because it does have the widest base. It does allow the larger figures on there. And if you went to get magic items in the future, you could use those as well. But I would definitely not recommend magic items because they don't do a whole bunch for your in-game experience. They're just kind of a thing. It's kind of like a one and done. So don't worry about any magic items, any expansion packs. Just worry about the main story. And yeah, you shouldn't have to spend too much money until you get to about Trapteam. Then you'll be dropping some serious dollars. But if you just want to play Imaginators, you only need one Skylander, really. I mean, you can keep it on a lower difficulty and have fun with it. It's whatever you guys prefer. So there you guys go. That's all I have for you guys. I hope this video helped out the slightest bit. If it did, and you guys enjoy my previous content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It means a ton. Thank you for 1,000. I've yet to say that in a video. This is the first video that I've filmed after hitting 1,000 subscribers, and that's absolutely amazing, so thank you guys. Anyways, I post videos every single day. Yeah, I know that's crazy, and you guys are probably getting tired of me. That's why I don't show my face in every video, because, you know, not the prettiest sight. But you guys can follow me on social media at SavingSkylands on Instagram and Twitter. I am a little more active, yeah, believe it or not. But you'll get early post updates, stuff like that, polls on what you want to see, and that kind of things, alerts. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully this helped you guys out, and I'll see you guys soon.